Hey, it's day 11 of your Mind Body Yoga Fit Challenge. We're going to do a 20-minute, a little more vigorous vinyasa flow. So roll out your yoga mat, take off your shoes, and let's get flowing. Today's class at the back of your mat. Bring your big toes to touch, and a little space between your heels. Soften up your knees, roll your tailbone under, circle your shoulders just a couple times to release your traps. Drop your hands to the floor and lift your chin up off your chest. Crown of the head for the sky, mountain Tadasana pose. Soften your eyes and close them down if that's available. If you need something to stare at, just look at the floor a few feet in front of you. Find your breath. Traditional Ujjayi breath is in and out through your nose, letting the belly expand with the inhale, and pulling it back with the exhale. And just waking up your core muscles. Let's start to blink the eyes back to open if you did choose to close. Reach both hands up on your in-breath. Match your hands together and then swan dive into your legs. Hands slide down your thighs. Take a half lift on this next inhale. Exhale to release. Bending at your knees pretty significantly so that you can find the mat with your hands. Walk yourself forward into plank pose. Hands under shoulders and then tuck your tailbone. Keep the toes curled under. If you need a little bit less, you can put your knees down, or if your wrists are kind of grumpy, you can go to those knuckles. Hold for a breath. Good, then we'll all lower the knees for our first chaturanga. Shift forward of your wrists so your shoulders come forward, and then bend your elbows backwards down to the mat. Slowly release the belly, tops of the feet rest. Peel yourself up, baby cobra. And then on your exhale, release. Push down into your hands. Come on up and back. Child's pose. Hips to heels, forehead down. Arms overhead if you can, but you can always bend those elbows if you'd like. Start to roll yourself forward into all fours. As you do, tuck your toes, pick up your knees, lift those sit bones to the sky, downward facing dog. Heels are heavy, stretching off the back of the legs. Come to your tippy toes. Bend your knees, spring load your legs as you look forward at your hands, and then step to the top of the mat, as many steps as you need to get there. Half lift, inhale. Exhale. Root through the feet and rise up. Big, tall, strong breath up to the top. Match your hands into prayer. Pull them to the heart center. Inhale, sweep both arms up. We're going to start to flow a little bit quicker. Exhale down. Halfway lift. Exhale, release. Bend your knees, find the mat, step or hop back to plank. Remember your options. You can do knees, you can put on the knuckles, shift forward of the wrists, take your chaturanga. Any back bend that suits you. Could be just a little baby cobra or more towards mid or full cobra. Roll yourself back down, push the hands into the mat, come into your child's pose. That's kind of your first version of our vinyasa flow. We're going to move on the next one a little more advanced. Come into all fours, tuck your toes, pick up your knees, down dog. Let the heels get heavy for a moment. Let the head just dangle. All 10 fingers push down. Walk your hands back towards your feet. So right back to where we started. Soften up the knees, half lift. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, release, root, and rise. Stretch both arms up. Exhale, fold. Half lift. Crown of the head forward. Melt, bend your knees. Walk those hands forward. Use the shoulder strength. Find plank. Pause for a moment in plank. You can do toes or knees. Shift forward of your wrists. Chaturanga, belly to the floor. Or, if it feels okay, some of you might enjoy coming up off the floor so you're on the tops of the feet only, upward facing dog. From here, if you're an up dog, feel free to tuck those toes and just pike your hips up. But if that doesn't work for your practice, you'll roll back down like we did before, and then push through child's pose, and then we'll meet you in down dog. Come to your tippy toes, bend your knees, look at your hands, hop or step, top of the mat. Forward fold, half lift, inhale. Exhale, release. Strong legs, root down, rise up, big breath in. Exhale, bow. A little upward salute, half lift. Bend your knees, find the mat, hop or step back. Plank asana, hold and then shift forward for your chaturanga. Any version of back bend, baby cobra, full cobra, or upward dog. Choose how you'd like to make your way up into downward dog. So you might roll through your feet, or you might lower down, child's pose, and then meet us here. Start to walk your hands back to your feet. Use the shoulders. Soften your knees, half lift. Inhale. Exhale. Root to rise. Both legs strong. Come on up. Match the hands to heart center. Prepping for a little balance asana. Start to take weight off of your right foot. When you're ready, can you pick up your right knee, standing staff? Lift your heart, thumbs at heart center. If you need to hold a wall or a chair, go ahead. Kick that leg forward, flex your foot, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Start to sink down into a standing pigeon. Opening up the hip, pick a drishti, spot to stare. If you'd like to, you can stretch your arms out to the side, sort of like an airplane. And if you wobble and fall out of it, smile. Promise me you'll keep trying. Come on back up into your standing staff, right knee to hip height. Shoot that leg back, take your torso forward. Warrior 3, look at the floor. Square the hips, roll the right hip down. Good, and then reach your fingers for the floor. Put a bend in your left knee and let your head dive down. Open up that hip. This is standing splits. Right leg reaches a little bit higher. It's a tough one. We'll put a bend in the left knee, walk your hands forward, keeping your right leg elevated. Find your way into plank, a 3-legged plank here. Option is you could always put your left knee down, or you can put both knees down. Or take that vigorous vinyasa with only one foot on the floor. Baby cobra, full cobra, up dog. You choose. On your exhale, make your way back, down dog, or you lower down, push. You do you. Heels heavy. Good. Take it to the tippy toes. Bend your knees. Look at your hands. Hop or step. Top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Bend both knees. Root to rise. Strong spine. Come on up. Match your hands to heart center. Good. And then we'll do it again to get back to the back of the mat. So reach it up. A sun salute and bow. Try to match with your breath. So that's what vinyasa means. Movement with breath. Bend your knees. Hop or step, plank, you choose. Feel free to always skip any of our vinyasas also if it's too much. You can flip the toes and make your way to down dog, or you can take that little more gentle version through child's. Heels are heavy, head dangles. We meet in downward facing dog. Use the strength of your shoulders. Walk yourself back to your feet. Soften up your knees a little. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Strong legs, root to rise. Come on up, stand tall. Bring the hands to heart center. Pick a drishti or focal point to stare at. And start to lighten on your left foot, your left heel. When you're ready, see if you can pick that left knee up. Standing staff. Stacking the bones, keeping everything nice and quiet and still. And then we'll kick that leg forward for our pigeon pose. Crossing over the right thigh. Start to sit into chair. So this is balance, and it's a little stretch. Feel free to stretch your arms out to the side here, or hold on to something if you need it. Working the ankle stabilizers. And try to stay lifted if you can. Stand up through your right foot. Come back to prayer, back to standing staff. Left knee as high as you can. With grace, send your left leg back and shoot your torso forward. Warrior 3. Try to roll the left hip down. Eyes face the mat. You can have arms to the sides or hands at heart. Start to bend your right knee and then reach those fingers for the floor. Let your head dangle. Lift your left leg a little higher. Open your hip. Standing splits. The wider your base, the more support you'll have. Closer to your foot will be harder. Bend your right knee more and walk your hands forward. See if you can stay on one foot here as you make your way into that plank pose. Feel free to bend your right knee and put it down and hold it here. Or try the challenging version, toes tucked under, shifting forward of the wrists, elbow scrape, any amount of back bend. Baby cobra, full cobra, up dog. And then you can flow back down, or you can roll through your feet. You do you. We all meet in downward dog. Ooh, starting to break a little sweat. Come up to the tippy toes, bend the knees, look forward. Hop or step, top of the mat. Half lift. exhale, release. Soften the knees, root to rise. Come on up. Match your hands to your heart center. Good. Find your breath here. Feel how good it is to have both feet grounded. One more breath here, just rooting. Stretch both arms overhead. On your exhale breath, we bow. Softening up the knees. We're going to stretch the right leg back by itself. Let that right heel roll to the floor and then circle the right arm up and over, come into your warrior two pose. Sink into your left knee. Shoulders relax. Palms face the floor. Gaze over your left hand. Virabhadrasana 2. You have one more balance asana on deck here. So you're going to shift forward, flip your left hand, take a reverse warrior first. Lift up, reach up, look up. And then come through warrior two. Pick a spot on the floor in front of your left toe. Start to reach for it. Lift off that right foot and come into half moon. You could be on a block here with your left hand, or you can be on your thigh if you can't quite get that low. But this time we do have a hip open. Right arm to the sky. Ooh, no falling. And then on your exhale breath, release your right hand to the floor. Turn your right toes to face the floor. We're back into our warrior three. Can you push off and reach up? Arms overhead. That's tough. That's strong. Slowly bending your left knee. Don't fall, Tara. And draw the right knee back into your chest and give it a nice hug. Squeeze the shin up and then circle that right foot. And if you wobble and fall out of this, it's okay. Smile. Try again. Slowly release right foot to the floor. Slowly, both feet land, reach up, Tadasana. Exhale, bow. Half lift, lengthen. We're gonna do the other side. Bending your knees, stretch your left foot way back. Roll your left heel to the floor. And then cartwheel, left arm first, into warrior two. Standing tall, bend your right knee. Check that it's lined up with the toes. Gaze over your right hand. Palms down. A little stretch in the groin. Start to surf forward with your torso. Flip the right palm. Reverse that warrior. Left hand light on your back thigh. Chest up. Look up. Prepping for half moon. Start to slowly shift your weight into your right foot. Look at the floor. Pick a spot. Gaze at it and then lighten up on that back foot. Reach the right hand down. Left arm goes up. And you start to roll the left toes out to the side. Pinky toe side of the foot faces the sky. This is a tough one for a lot of us, so make a customization that works for you. Slowly release your left hand to the floor, and as you do, you're going to square up your hips, face your left toes to face the ground, and bend your right knee. Use your back strength here to lift off, and can you come into warrior three with arms overhead? Lift that back leg. Oh boy, don't fall. Slowly exhale, bring the left knee to your chest. Hug the shin. Circle the ankle. Okay, I told you it was going to be a little more vigorous today. Working on our balance. On the exhale, if you can, set the foot down as slowly as possible. So really just challenging the core control. Left foot next to right. Take a little pedal. Nice work, yogis. Take a big breath in. And then exhale, we fold. Here's the good news. We're gonna hang for a bit here. So bend your knees pretty generously. Rest your ribs on your thighs. Catch opposite elbow. Let your forehead drop towards your forearms. And then sway if it feels good. A little gentle breeze just rocking you right and left. Ragdoll hang. Come back to your breath. Slowly release your fingers. Lift up your heart. Bend into the knees even deeper. Plant your hands. Step your shins back one at a time. Coming into child's pose. Reach the hips back. Feel free to customize. You can bend your elbows. You could reach your arms overhead or behind your back. Behind your Ujjayi breath. Be proud of that effort that you just brought. And we're going to slowly walk ourselves up into hero's pose. So sitting your hips over your heels. Nice tall spine. If your knees are grumpy, you can place a block between your heels. Sit on that. That'll elevate. Or you can just kick your feet around and sit in a more comfortable position. We're going to take some time to lengthen out the neck. Rest your palms on your thighs. Drop the chin to your chest. And we'll roll right ear to right shoulder. Shine the left ear up. Take a moment and just release this whole side of your neck into your shoulder. And then on the exhale, melt your chin down, and we'll slowly make a semicircle across to the other side. Shine your right ear up. Feel some length, stretch happening here, all the way down into your right shoulder. Melt the chin back to the chest. Slowly pick up the gaze. Beautiful. We're going to come forward into the fingers, and then I'm going to have you take your knees out a little bit wider here, still leaving your big toes together. Shift back into what is called wide heroes. So we're going to take the right hand outside the right hip and circle the left arm up. Pick your hips up off of your heels and push them to the sky. Create a little rainbow here. And then on your exhale, slowly melt through the middle, circle that left arm through the middle and find the ground behind your left hip. Push up, right arm overhead, hips to the sky. Let's just take one more. Go ahead and flow from right to left at your own pace. Feel free to put a block behind you to help give your hand a little more length, or your arm a little more length to find the floor if your fingers or your palm cannot connect. Good. Exhale and release. Weight in your hands. Shift your heels off to one side. Come up to a comfortable seat. For me, crisscross ankles is comfortable. If that's not comfortable for you, shoot your legs forward, or you can extend them, whatever you like. Shrug the shoulders up. Relax them down. Take the right arm on top of the left arm and just give yourself a hug. Wrap and hold. That feels great. Stay, or you can try eagle, one bind or two binds. Fingertip to palm for that full bind. Gently soften those elbows down. With your exhale, slow release. If you are sitting in crisscross, just change the crossing for symmetry's sake. Sit up tall, and we'll take the left arm over the right arm. Give yourself a hug. Chest up, and maybe you can experiment with eagle arms if that feels okay in your body. No worries if one side's different than the other, that's really common. And slow release, whatever version you chose to hold, shrug them out. We're gonna lay on our backs next, so take your feet out to the side or to one side and check if you have room to roll back using your core here. See if you can lower yourself one vertebra at a time. Your head touches last. Reach the arms overhead and maybe straighten out your legs, point your toes. You can arch your back if that feels okay. Let's reverse that. Take the knees to the chest and hug them in tight. Let the head rest and rock the knees right, left. Proud of yourself for showing up for this practice. Start to scan the body for any areas that need a little bit of love or TLC. This is your opportunity to take care of that. Whatever you need here. It might be a single leg stretch, or maybe you are ready to settle into a shavasana or a relaxation. You do you, okay? Got about 5 more breaths to just take care of whatever individual need you might have. I'm going to go over your options for relaxation. You could take your feet apart, your knees together, hands on your belly. That is a little more back happy. If you'd like to try full shavasana, legs out long, arms by your sides, or you're welcome to roll to your side or find a comfortable seat. Close down your eyes. Start to get all those wiggles out. Take these next few moments to just be with your breath. Watch your inhale. Mentally watch your exhale. And you are welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. So if you'd like to pause the video and take a nice, long, luxurious meditation, this is your opportunity. You are ready to close the class. Put a wiggle in your fingers and a wiggle in your toes. Blink your eyes open. Shake your head side to side. Roll the wrists. Start to bend the knees. And then drop them to one side. Whichever side feels more open, push yourself up. Take your time. Trying to preserve the relaxed feeling. Hopefully you're able to tap into, even if it was just for a moment. Rest with palms down, shoulders relaxed. Deep breath in. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Reach both arms up, match your palms, and slide them to your heart center. Chin softens to the collarbones. The light in me respects and salutes the light in all of you. Thank you for being here. I will see you guys for day 12 of our Mind Body Challenge. Namaste.